Hello, welcome to RAM. I'm Masood Raja, and today I'll briefly talk about a labor rights issue which is coming up quite prominently in the current debates in the US about the next stimulus package. And that's about the unemployment insurance benefits. So you might be aware that in the previous stimulus package, the federal government decided to give $600 a week to workers who are being laid off. But from the conservative side, there is an argument being made against a full extension of those $600 a week. But I just want to lay bare what is the philosophy behind that argument. So the argument, and you can read it anywhere, I just read it on CNN, is that if we keep this incentive intact, people don't have a reason to go to work. And since they're getting this money and don't want to go to work, we can't achieve the accomplishment of jump-starting the job market again. That's the argument. What no one is mentioning is one thing. If you are a conservative and talk about market economy, right? Why do you need to weaken the safety net to get people to work? Why can't the incentive from the companies and corporations would be, oh, if you come and work for us, we'll pay you more than $600 a week. So the whole purpose of these protections that were put in place of the safety net wasn't just that people should be able to feed themselves and should have something to fall back on. Another purpose was that the workers should have something to fall back on so that they can negotiate a better price for their labor. Right? So what these conservative pundits are basically saying without stating it is that the only way we can make people work, because the businesses are not willing to pay them for more than $600 a week, right, is by making the workforce precarious, right? By taking away what they might be able to rely on instead of selling their labor cheaply. That's the argument, right? And this has been a tendency since the mid-1970s and now increasingly to make labor as precarious as possible so that businesses can hire them at whatever rate they want. Now think of it. Every time we talk about raising the minimum wage, people start crying, right? The business owners, oh, we won't be able to sustain it. Why not? Because their business model is so reliant on cheap labor that if labor becomes expensive, their entire system collapses, falls down, can't sustain itself. So what does it teach us? That despite all the advances of technology and labor-saving devices, machines and computers, profit still depends on the price of labor, right? And that's why so many of the conservative policies are about making labor weak, breaking the unions, right? Inserting racial and other divides amongst the labor so that there can't be any solidarities. Taking jobs to elsewhere in the world where laws are weaker and you can exploit the local politician. All of it is in search of precarious labor. Actually, scholars believe that precarity is a precondition for current global economic system. So how does labor become cheap? Right? If you fix it in place. If you take away from it anything that it can rely on to negotiate its price, take away solidarities, take away any safety net, right? Take away healthcare, protections, that means then people will be desperate to work for whatever you offer them, right? That's how labor is kept cheap, right? Now keep that in mind. When you read these news, when you hear these people object to $600 a week federal assistance for laid off workers, when they offer you this reason that that's what is stopping people from getting back to work, the question shouldn't be whether people are lazy or not. The question is, why should they work for less than that? Right? That's the question we ought to be asking. That's from me today. That's from Raja Against the Machine. I will come back next time with a video on labor being the source of profit in the business world. How does it become that, and why it is crucial for us to understand. Thank you so much, and as always, peace and love.